Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic and a chance for the humans to get their revenge. The puzzle on the screen is called Ain't, which I think is a shortening of AI Not. It's by SSI, which I think is a congregation of human setters. Some of you will be pleased to hear, including, let me get my list, none other than Dorlier, Calvin Ball, Manta Ray, Arctan, Mello Robinson and others who watched yesterday's video, and I don't know whether they were appalled or they just thought humans can do better, but they've created this very quickly with the identical rule set. Now, if you're watching this video and you didn't watch yesterday's video, let me explain what happened. There is a new AI model out called Claude something. And ThoughtByte, the brilliant human constructor, tested the model by requesting it create a brand new type of Sudoku, which it did. And we showed this to you yesterday. This was called Spotlight Fracture, and it was just a single prompt generated this puzzle. It does have a unique solution. You can see it's quite heavily clued by comparison to what the humans have come up with. But I love the fact that the humans, as if I'm not one of them. Some people have questioned it, but yeah, the humans have used exactly the same rule set, right down to the row diversity clue. But we'll come on to that in a moment. Anyway, this was something that we showcased partly because we felt as a technical achievement, it really is quite remarkable. Now, the comments on yesterday's video made it very clear that many of you were very upset to see anything AI related on the channel at all, or even mentioned. And yeah, the comments were not for the faint-hearted yesterday. And yeah, I'm sorry about that. There was one view expressed was that the channel was supposed to be about handmade puzzles and promoting those, and therefore why would we ever solve a puzzle created by a machine? And I would just gently note that the channel has for many years promoted handcrafted puzzles in a way I don't know how to do any better than I currently do. I spend most of my waking hours doing exactly that, solving the puzzles, testing the puzzles, creating the puzzles sometimes. And I hope many of you would agree and accept that Cracking the Cryptic has become a remarkable place for handmade puzzles, a truly remarkable place, and it's something I'm incredibly proud to be a part of every day. Every day, maybe with the exception of yesterday, I have the opportunity just to show people a Fabergé egg. Somebody gives me a Fabergé egg and I go, there, have a look at that. It's a tremendous privilege, and one that I don't take lightly. I work very hard to try and show you all these puzzles. So don't worry, the channel is not going to become some repository for AI puzzles. It was simply an interesting event yesterday, I think, in the world of puzzles, and we wanted to show you that. And the other comments that hurt a bit were for those that accused me of pretense saying that I couldn't possibly have enjoyed solving the puzzle at all, and therefore I shouldn't have been, or shouldn't have used adjectives that I did. Again, I can only apologise for being me. I don't know how to be anybody else. I can't. I don't know really what to say about that. I solve the puzzle and I react as my brain tells me, and I feel it's quite hard to. I don't know how not to do that, or how to pretend to do something different. So I just, I know some of you were very upset that I expressed any admiration for what the machine had done at all, and yeah, I will just do my best, and that is all I can do. Anyway, so we're going to try and put things right, and have a look at Ain't by SSI, and it is identical, the rule set, to yesterday's puzzle. So this is going to be hopefully an opportunity for us to see that AI, while it can achieve some remarkable things, especially in like medicine, I think in the puzzle world it's likely to have some way to go, and hopefully we'll be able to show you that today. I don't know anything about this. We've received received some recommendations to try it. So anyway, and I've told you who it's by, so we'll read the rules together in a moment or two's time. Anything else to mention before we do that? There are one or two things. Yes, we went back to the Blueprints mansion last night. That was entertaining as always. Thank you so much if you joined us. It was yeah, it's a bizarre and interesting game, and I'm sure we'll be back again next Monday, I suspect. So look out for the announcement about that. And thank you for joining us if you were there. The VOD is available, of course. I'll try and remember to put the link on the screen. And then what else? Oh, should we just have a quick look at how Duality 3 is going? So this is our competition for the month of February. You can win the chance to come on the channel and solve a puzzle. And hopefully some of you have watched Beatrice's video we put up on Sunday, which was very good fun to record. And this is the current solve count. So let's have a look. 1732, and so we've got 348 now. 348 people have done all 19 puzzles, and 1758 have solved the first puzzle. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's just brilliant. So do get involved. Have you got enough time? You might be. The closing date's the 20th. Have you got enough time to get through in just a matter of days? Yeah, I think you could. You'd probably have to devote an hour a day to get through 19 by the 20th, but you can do it. You can do it. So that's over on Patreon right now. One thing I've just remembered I have to tell you. I might get a phone call today. I do try and schedule the videos where I'm not going to be interrupted, because I always lose my train of thought if I do get interrupted. But my car is back in the garage, so I'm no doubt going to get some bad news at some point during this video, and if I do, I will have to stop and or pause at least. Anyway, let's do birthdays. Benjamin, it's your birthday today. I know that you enjoy the crossword videos. I hope you get this message then, because this most certainly isn't a crossword video. And I hope you have a great birthday today. I'm not sure how old you're turning. I don't think you know anyone in real life who watches the channel. I wonder whether that quite a lot of people watch it but don't admit they watch it. That could be true. But anyway, Benjamin, many happy returns. I hope the chocolate cake is splendid. Somebody who I believe might not be having chocolate cake, controversially, Nicole. Nicole, you're turning 22 today. And I know this because your boyfriend Spencer wrote in. and told me that you are in the top 0.3% of Cracking the Cryptic viewers. Now, that's quite a lot of videos you've watched, so thank you so much for doing that. I know you have a penchant for vanilla cake over chocolate cake, which I can't get on board with at all. But anyway, Nicole, I hope you have a great birthday today. Next, Joe. Joe. Oh, I'm wishing you a happy birthday at a propitious moment, because I can hear Maverick has just taken off. Joe, your partner Martine, yeah, it could have been Martina from my writing, but I think I remember reading it was Martine. Martine wrote to me and told me that the channel brings you joy, curiosity, and stability. That brings that into Joe's life, and therefore hers, Martine's, by association. That's a lovely way of, well, it's a lovely thing to say. And Joe, I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you for watching, and I hope that the chocolate cake today is good. And then finally, Donatello _86. Your friend Melissa wrote to me. You're turning the big 4-0 today. Well, I hope you have a great day. I think, yeah, I remember I've read this out, or I've read out a birthday that's related to one of you before. I'm sure I have, because you're very close in age, aren't you? And I think Donatello is now reaching Melissa's age, and this will be a cause of some delight for Melissa. And Melissa, do you like dinosaur cake, or have I made that up in my brain? I'm not sure. That's just popped into my brain, and I apologise. Anyway, Donatello _86, many happy returns. Now, let's have a look. Let's see how the human race is doing. We'll have a look at 8 by, it says SSI, which I think is like Sudoku. I don't know what SSI is. Well, it's those people I mentioned earlier, including, yeah, let me read out the names again, because that seems only fair. So Dorlier, Calvin Ball, Manta Ray, Arctan, and Mello Robinson, and others, it says on my list. So the rules are as follows. We have to place the digits 1 to 6 so that each row and column contains each digit exactly once. So that's sort of a Latin square type rule. Then it's a chaos construction, so we divide the grid into 6 connected regions of 6 cells each. Each region also contains the digits 1 to 6 exactly once. No region may contain a 2 by 2 block of cells. So, for example, that could be a region. That doesn't contain a 2 by 2, and it is 6 cells large, and it contains orthogonally connected cells. So that couldn't be a region because they aren't connected. These two only touch one another at a vertex, and that's not going to be sufficient. And then we've got the same rules as yesterday. We've got spotlights. Yeah, spotlight cells. These are the ones with S's in them. An S cell's digit equals the number of its orthogonal neighbours in the same region. So let's look at this cell. So whatever we put in there, it's counting how many of those green cells are in the purple cell's region. So you can see that could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. And that is how an S cell works. We've got Kropki dots. A white dot between 2 cells means the digits are consecutive. So if this digit was 2, drop type 2. If that's a 2, that has to be a 3 or a 1. A black dot means one digit is exactly double the other. So if this was a 2, that can be a 4 or a 1 to make sure one is double the other. And then we've got the row diversity clue, which I think was in the top row yesterday. The number 2 beside the row indicates exactly 2 different regions have cells in that row. So in this row, there are only 2 regions. I find that really funny. I don't think an AI would understand why that is funny to include that clue, but it is. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I probably have learnt some things from doing this yesterday. I learnt that S's on the perimeter are a bit restricted because they can never be greater than 3, can they? Because they're counting how many orthogonal neighbours are in the same group as themselves. So if we look at this one, it can't be 4 because there are only 3 orthogonal neighbours. In fact, the corner cell can't be 3 at all, because it only has 2 orthogonal neighbours. Now, okay, that is not enough. Right. It's a much less populated grid than yesterday. There's a lot less that I can immediately, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3 or 4. I think black dots, though, I think what I learnt yesterday again, if we think about the nature of the digits 1 to 6 and whether they can be in a doubling relationship with each other, 1 and 2 can be, 2 and 4 can be, 3 and 6 can be, and 4 and 2 going back the other way can be, and 6 and 3 going back the other way. The only digit that's definitively not on a black dot in a 6 by 6 is the digit 5. Which I don't think is of any use to us, is it? Okay, I'm going to have to think a bit harder here. I mean, I can label... I see, I can't label that. I just refuse. I mean, that digit is 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. I suppose it's not 6. Does that matter? Okay. All right, so that thought of pencil marking digits has led me to a conclusion about row 3. Look, these 2 cells are the only places in that row that 5 and 6 can go. So there is something we can do. Oh, I tell you what I would like to do. I'd like to surround my grid with a black line, because I always feel like I'm making progress if I do that. Now, I want to look at that one again. Okay, let's go slightly further with row 3, because the 4 in the row is in one of 2 places. Now that means that the 3 in the row is in one of 2 places, because the 4, say it was here, it can't be next to a 5 because 5's in the 2 middle cells, so it's going to be next to a 3. So the 3 in the row is definitely in one of those 2 places, which means, I don't really want to colour those, but it means neither of these can be a 3. So these are one. So one of these is 4, one of these is 3. And a 3 on the perimeter is going to cause a sort of a Tetris T shape, isn't it? A T for Tetris. Oh, okay, have I left... Yeah, I've left that flashing in. I don't want that flashing there. So a T for Tetris, either there or there, definitely exists. Oh, and a T for Tetris... I don't know if that matters. I can just see that that shape is going to have a 2 by 2 impact, isn't it? Because if you say that was the T for Tetris, which is either there or there for sure, those 2 cells can't be in the purple region. Which, so in either of those dispositions, either both of those or both of those aren't in the T for Tetris shape. I mean, I can't see what that's doing. I'm not saying it's not doing anything. I just can't see what it's doing. Yeah, you can already sense that the human effect on this, it's crunchier, isn't it? I'm conscious of the fact that I'm having to think much harder to do anything. And I quite like that 4 idea in that row. That feels a human type idea. That because 4 is in one of those, 3 is in one of those, causing a T for Tetris on the sides. It's not this, is it? I can only put two regions in row 2. So okay, well that is actually important. That is absolutely beautiful. Right. Okay, sorry if my adjectives aren't right. I don't know. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, this must be right, I think. Okay, so we know that somehow or other there are 2 regions only in row 2. Now, I think we've got to be very careful then about what we put in row 1, don't we? Because what that means for row 1 is that row 1 is either a stripe, so it could be a 6-cell stripe. That is one possibility. That has no impact on row 2 at all. But if we decide that row 1 is not a stripe, what is it then? How many different regions could be in row 1? It must be 2, because you can't put 3 regions in and then only have 2 spilling out into row 2. That's just it just won't work, because that would imply one of the regions in row 1 was entirely confined to row 1, which would make it a 6-cell region, which would then suggest that you couldn't have 3 regions in the top row. So, but I know that this is impossible. I know that you can't have 2 regions in the top row and 2 regions in row 2. Because if you did, how many cells of those 2 regions would you have? Well, you'd have 12, wouldn't you? You'd have 12 cells altogether. You might not know which bits of it are green and which bits of it are purple, but you know that all 12 of those cells are allocated to 2 regions of the puzzle. Well, those 2 regions are going to have 12 cells. So this can't be right. Sorry, and just to make sure we're all on, the reason it can't be right is I've just said that there's a spillage, if you like. Either because one of these is a 3, it's going to go in. Whichever one of these is 3 is going to poke in to row 2 and prevent us from having green and purple just living their lives entirely within the first 2 rows. That cannot be right. So I think what this is telling us, and this is a seriously more deep deduction than anything we saw yesterday, but what it's telling us is, I think, that is a region. That's the only way I think we're going to be able to allow there to be a Tetris T on one side of the grid or the other. So, I mean, this is going to the heart of the difference between handmade and computer-made puzzles as a general point. I'm not talking about AI now, just as a general point. A computer's ability to build a logical sequence that a human being can follow as a trail of breadcrumbs doesn't really exist. Certainly not in puzzle space. But let's just work through what we've done. What we did was we deduced some trivial stuff about row 3, but with the 5-6 pair. We noticed the 4s had to be in one of these. That caused the 3s to be in one of these. That caused the shape of the 3s to cause a T on one side of the grid or the other. And then the 2 clue crystallizes. I mean, we don't know how the 2 breaks down, but it gives us the top row, which is really quite lovely. Hang on, it's better than that. It gives me that digit. I've got a digit, because that's got to be a 2 by the S rule. Okay, so that is not a 2. Right, this can't be a 1 at the bottom of the grid, because if this was a 1, this would be a 2 by the black dot rule. So that's got to be a 3, that's got to be a 6, that's a 6, that's a 5, and actually we're off and running here. 1 and 4, 1 and 4. Well, whether that's 1 or 4, that is 2, definitely. Because if that goes 2, 1, this has to be a 2 to be double 1. And if this goes 2, 4, we can't put 8 here, can we? So, okay, that's a little win for the goodies. Oh, I see. And now I've got another Tetris T there, look. That's got to, which colour should we have for that? Let's have red. Because this one has 3 thingies. This one can't have 4 thingies now, because the blue one is definitely not in this one's region. In fact, that is now odd, but I was hoping it was going to be attached to a white dot, but it most certainly isn't, is it? Okay. So... Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. So now a little bit of Sudoku, that fair-weathered friend. Where's 6 in column 2 is a question we could ask. 6 can't repeat in its own region, so it's not in this cell. 6 isn't in its own row, and 6 can't be on the white dot because this can't be 5. So 6 has got to live right at the top of the grid. I suspect, unfortunately, that's not going to be a very powerful deduction, but it's something. No, I don't. I was trying to do the same with 3 in this column. I don't think that works at all. Okay. This is tricky actually now, isn't it? Because, I suppose those two have to be in a different region. Yeah, we said this earlier. Once we got a T for Tetris, this cell can't be red and this cell can't be red. I mean, it's very hard to know what colours they actually are, but that is true. It's either going to be that this can't be a 1 or a 3, I think. 3 would cause that to be a T for Tetris. Which, I don't know what that would do. Something, probably. It would make the 5 and this digit not in its region. If this was a 3. I don't know. I actually don't like my shading of row 2 either, because I don't think it's adding anything. I know this row is divided into 2 pieces. I just have to work out somehow, some way, which way it goes. Oh dear, I'm sorry. God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do at all. There's no value. No, I still think that can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So there really isn't much value in pencil marking it. Is it something to do... Well, it must be something to do with S's. I say that with not much confidence, but a bit. I just feel the Kropki dots aren't enough. That could be wrong. Okay, so maybe I know, if I think it through, which of these is the 3. Because I know one of those is a 3. But okay, let me just think this through. So if this was the 3, what would that cause to happen? It would make... We know this would be in a different region to the 3 here. We know this would be a 4. 3, 4. We know this would be a 3 or a 5. These would be in different regions. So a region would sort of pop out here. Oh, I see. That would be a 1. That would be a 1 because it would only be exiting to its right, wouldn't it? So I get a 1 here, a 3 here. It could be some horrible Sudoku points. I don't know. I'm not seeing why that's impossible. Okay, let's have a look at it on that side instead. This feels less constrained though, because I can't get this to interact with this one. So if this is a Tetris T, those two are the same. That would be a 3. This would be a 1-2 pair, wouldn't it? Oh. Hang on. There is a consideration here I hadn't had. No. I'm changing tack altogether. I've had a different idea. Sorry, and I apologise. I didn't spot this at all. But this is important. I know it is, and that's quite interesting as well. When I've spotted something that I know in my bones that this is a human point, right? Because I know either this. Well, let's deal. If this is the Tetris T, this cell is not green. Well, what's the rest of this row then? It's got to be this colour, doesn't it? We can't reintroduce green around the side of whatever this is. The whole of that row is going to be that colour. And that logic's symmetrical. So if this is the green, all of this row is this colour. Now that means that those cells are all the same colour. And, okay, I mean, I said I thought that was going to be important, and maybe that's not right, but maybe that's just not right at all. Okay, oh, sorry. All right, so, but does it make a difference now if that's grey? It does make a sort of difference. Oh, golly, that's beautiful logic. That's really clever. Right, that's it. So you have to do this in the right order. You have to have this insight, I think, or it makes it clearer to have this insight, because now the grey region indisputably includes a 2. And why do I care about that? Well, this is lovely. It's lovely. But if this is a 3, it's not. If this is a 3, what do we have? Originally we had a Tetris, and we still do, we sort of have a nested Tetris shape there. But the crucial thing that we have to realise now is that this has an S in it. So what is it? It's not grey, so it has to be something else, but that means it's a 1. And what's this digit across the white dot? It's a 2, and it's repeating in grey. So that's wrong. That is wrong. So in fact, I'm saying this can't be a 3. It has to be a 1. And it's already got its 1. Because it's already, so we could sort of do that, couldn't we? Which means whatever colour this is getting out downwards. This certainly can't be a 1, because it would only have 1 exit, and the green region would only have 1 cell in it, or 2 cells in it, I should say. So this is a 2. This is and that's even, because this is odd. This has become an even number, and therefore, in the nature of a consecutive pair of numbers, is they must include an odd and an even number. So this digit's a 3. Oh, that means this is a 4, because we knew the 3 and the 4 were bound together sort of indelibly, didn't we? So this is a 1-2 pair over on this side, but this being a 3 causes that pattern to emerge. Oh, I was about to draw this line in, but that might not be true. It certainly I can draw that in because of the 2x2 rule. This is definitely a 4. This is definitely a 1. It's got a lot more crunch to it, this, hasn't it? It's very clever. You can feel the cleverness of the constructors sort of coming through the screen at you. So now I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 regions, definitely, that are not the same. Could that be green? See, it could be green, couldn't it, maybe? If those 2 were green, would that cause an issue? Don't think it would. We might be getting towards the point where I have to pencil mark this rather more liberally than I have at the moment. Of course, I don't want to do that. Now, hang on. What's going on then? Of course, this row only has 2 colours in it, doesn't it? So I can fill this in with grey. So 3, 5 and 6 are the digits, and this clearly can't be a 3. So 3 is definitely in one of those cells. Yeah, that's very interesting. So now, don't mock me anymore. I've had enough mocking. I can't be mocked anymore. Yeah, because look, 1 and 2 are in grey already. So grey cannot take its 6th cell from these 2 positions. That's not going to work, because it would repeat whichever one it got down here. Those would repeat in grey. So grey needs one of these 2. Okay, I don't actually think I do know which one of those it is, unfortunately. So grey comes down to one of those. If it was this one, then green would definitely go there. Actually, if green didn't go here, then green would have to extend this way. Oh no, then it could be like a is that, which Muppet is that? Is it Gonzo or something? I don't know. There's a Muppet that looks a bit like that. So this would be a 6. This would be a 2. That might be okay. I'm not sure. Hang on. This digit is on a dot. So we know a little bit more than we used to about that digit. So that's 3 or 5. That feels like it might matter. I feel like there's a problem with it. Hang on, what's going on in this column? 2, 3, 5, and this isn't 3. I'm wondering if that can be red. If it's red, we know red can't have... No, it would be wrong. You can't do that. This is not red. So this is a new colour. That could be important. This cell here, I was thinking about whether it could be red. Now, we're not allowed 2x2s in regions. So if this is red, it has to go there. But now we've got the counts all wrong. Because red's finished. It's got its 6 cells. And these 3 cells have to join. The only thing they could join to is green. And that would make green 7 cells large, which is clearly not true. So this is a new colour. I'm going to christen it yellow. Yellow has to get out. So we've got at least a maximum of 5 yellows. So yellow has to go slightly further. So if it went there, then green would have to go there. Or, oh no, that's not true. Green could do that, and then red could go in the corner. No. Oh, bobbins, I don't know. It's tricky, actually. But, okay, now it is true to say that this is green. Because if it's not green, green can only grow straight out here. And this cell couldn't exist, because that's meant to be a 5 or a 6. And green would definitely have a 5 and a 6 if it took both of those cells. So that's definitely green. So yellow is coming. So yellow definitely doesn't have the corner cell now. So yellow's... So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 regions built. So I'm now thinking that this is a new colour. Yeah, that must be true. Because how could this be an existing colour that we've already got in the grid? We know it's not grey, it's clearly not blue, it couldn't reach green, it couldn't reach red. So the only way it could be an existing colour is if it's yellow. But now this digit would have to be yellow because it's none of the other colours. And we'd have a repeated 1 in yellow. So this cell, I'm going to christen it orange. This is the final colour. And that has got an S in it as well, so that is a 1 or a 2. But somehow, some way, where does green get a 1 from? I don't know the answer to that, but it looks to me like it's one of those two cells, doesn't it, in column 1? Green can't get a 1 from column 2. It can't get this 1. So this digit is from 2, 5, 6. I've got a bad feeling it's going to be some Sudoku jiggery pokery. I tell you the other thing I'm conscious of as we're going through the puzzle is how well integrated the region building is with the Sudoku. Yesterday, a lot of you noticed that effectively you could do the Sudoku and then you had a second puzzle to do, which was the region division. This does not feel like that to me at all. So, okay. Let's think about where we go from here. One of these is grey. So if it was, which one do we think it is? I don't have a strong view. Oh, but okay. But one of those is grey. So yellow has to go here, doesn't she? I think she does. Because if not, yellow would take both of those, and that's clearly wrong. Right. So yellow definitely goes here. Now, what colour is that? Could that be orange is the question. And what colour is this? I mean, this clearly, right, this one is definitely not red. So red we've sort of got a little bit of a handle on. I think it'll come down to what colour that is. That's my guess. Now, how on earth are we going to know that? That is not a question I know the answer to. Or is it this one? Is there some way we know? If that was a 2, those 3 would be in the same region. That would force this to be orange, which would force that to be orange, this to be orange. And orange's shape would be known because it would have 1 and 2 in it. It would be a sort of backward T shape. And that's broken. Yeah, okay, that's very straightforward, actually. Well, when I say it's only straightforward once you've got to this point. But if this was, the point is, if this is it has 2 junctions, so if it's like that, we have to consider what colour it could be, because there are definitely 3 cells of it in the bottom right-hand corner. It can't join to red, that would make red 7. It can't join to yellow because to get to yellow is going to cost it. It already would have 6 cells, even if it could teleport across, which it can't. So it would have to be orange, which of course creates the problem that red can't finish. Red's only got 4, well, it could have 5 cells. It definitely can't have 6. So this. So actually we're not learning what colour it is then. I'm just learning it's a 1. So we're doing some housekeeping. Oh, I see. So this is a 1 now. I'm getting a little bit of Sudoku done. But I don't think I know what colour this is anymore. But I know that that's a 2. I see. Gosh, this is really clever. So this one has to be yellow. I said that very quickly, but that might... I think that's right, isn't it? It can't be red. It wouldn't be achievable. And orange can't take both of these cells, so orange needs to come down slightly. This is lovely. It really is lovely. And orange can't have a 1 in it again, because it's already got a 1 in it. So that has to be, yeah, that's got to be red. That's going to be very important because red's now got all of its creature comforts are finished. So green goes in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So green doesn't go out any further. Now this is yellow because it can't be anything else. That Oh, you're kidding. I was going to say that's yellow, but I've just noticed it could be orange. Okay, so I don't know what that is. Oh dear. Oh wow. So it's going to be Sudoku then to finish this. Right, where's 6 in the bottom row? 6 has to go there in the corner. So that's very nice. Okay, that's done a lot of things. So we get a 4 at the top of the grid. We need to put 1 in. This is a 3-5 pair. This row hasn't got, okay, so this is a 3-6 pair now. Okay. There's definitely a 3 in there. So yellow has had a 3, so it mustn't have another 3. Oh, I see. Grey has now had a 6, so grey doesn't get that one. So grey must get 5, and that finishes grey. I don't know whether this 6 belongs to yellow. If it did belong to yellow, then that would be a 6 in orange, because we'd need to put a 6 in this row. And what do I need? 3, 4, 5 at the bottom. Let's put that in case it helps us. So this is 2, 4, 5. Orange has had 1 and 2. So even if orange did take the 6, it wouldn't be big enough. So orange is now sort of U pentomino, and we're left with a single ambiguity, which is whether, okay, but I can see one thing about that. We're left with a single ambiguity about whether this is orange or whether this is orange, but we can ask where 2 is in row 5 now, because 2 can't go in orange, it would repeat. So 2 seems to have to be there, which makes this a 3, which... So this digit is 4, 5 or 6. That's not at all what I was hoping for. And this digit is 4, 5 or 6. Okay, I might have missed a clue. What have I done wrong here? Oh, no, okay, where's 2 in column 5 now? God, it's really clever, this. 2, oh, I could have maybe done that column, which I didn't see. 5, this is now 3. Okay, so are we going to get deadly patterned in these final 2 columns? 4, oh no, we really are, actually. No. But, no, we actually are. So there is, oh, I see, but beautiful. Yellow's had a 3. So this has to be orange, which makes this yellow, and that is rather pretty because that's going to finish the puzzle. Now we know this has to be 4 to not repeat. So that's 4, that's 5, that's 5, that's 3, that's 3, that's 6, that's 6. That is very, very clever of you all. Very clever, very human, and yeah, exactly what we expect to see on the channel. Thank you so much if you're still with me. Do let me know how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.